If you think a Rolex is a good move for a date, well, let me be the judge of that. If you really want to know what women do think about what you're wearing on your wrist, tune in and watch the entirety of this episode.
Pretty little thing, let me light your count, cause mama, I'm sure hard to hell and I yes around.
It was only a matter of time until I sat down again, but this time as a host, for a very interesting topic, which I think will animate a lot of you, and specifically me. And we're actually talking today about what men think women like when we're talking watches.
Oh,
Obviously, I am here with my two best co-hosts, Kristian Haagen, Andrew McCutchen. What can I say? Do you already have something that comes to mind, like right off when I say woman, date, watch, think, if you ever think? That would be a good time to actually put your minds and talk. Kristian.
Wow. Yeah, well, I already told the story about how I scratched my girlfriend's back with an expensive Patek. And she was okay with that because it was a Patek, but that was not the date. See, I don't recall which watch I wore, but I think I didn't care because I wouldn't want her to see me as a nerdy guy. I remember an ex-girlfriend, she was like, why do you go and put your face flat at the showroom of a watch boutique? She thought it was so weird. And I think the interest that we have for horology is kind of weird. So I think I could wear a swatch, a black and white swatch for a date to appear, here's a dude, not a guy with a watch or watch with a guy. That goes like, do you know how expensive this is? So I would rather that she saw me and not a tuna can with a strap on my wrist. And I'd be like, so how are you doing?
Tell me again about
so
you.
What's your name?
Let me just get that drink for you.
Yeah. No, so
What about you?
the
Because
instance.
you're kind of the muscle guy here. Like, what would you pull out for like a date if Fiona was the first?
My
Like
delts.
your third dinner.
My deltoids. No, I have never dated since I was a watch person. You've made me realize that. I've been married so long and I've been into watches, I guess, so short. I've been into watches for like 11, 12 years and I've been married the same amount of time. So, and my wife is deeply unimpressed by watches. So
Okay.
I don't think of watches as having any effect on women because they don't have an effect on my woman. Does that make sense?
Okay, so obviously you guys are, I'm gonna say, too old because you've been married for too long. But I guess it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. You've never been married, but you've been with Lisbeth for more than 15 years. You've been with Fiona pretty much the same time. What are you currently wearing, and do you think it could be a good watch for a first date? And if that's so, explain why.
Good question.
Wow. What are you wearing, Andrew?
You always do that.
Yeah. I leave it for the kids. Yeah.
No, I'm wearing this would be really interesting actually because this is a tank Louis with this laser etched grey dial, and it's in pink gold or rose gold, whatever you want. And it has that nipple crown that I love so much on a
Nipple
Moleskine
crown.
strap.
There we go.
So here comes the sex appeal. I'm curious. I find it very curious that the Timothy Chalamets of this world are the new male sex symbols. Like they're very sort of androgynous men. It's a new style of masculinity, I suppose. And he is someone that wears a lot of tiny Cartier. And I guess I've seen a couple of eras of masculinity. I've seen the Expendables era with big Panerais and beefy watches, and then you see the kind of the Roger Moore and Pierce Brosnan era of the Bond watches. And now we're in an era where this is the modern man, and I think I would feel quite modern. So I think this would be a watch that I would wear God forbid I ever be single again. Like nobody wants that. But if I was single again, I'd roll the dice on wearing a Cartier to try to. No, not to. I do like this new style of masculinity that I see. I love the movie where he's Bob Dylan. What's it called? A Complete Unknown.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic movie. I really enjoy this style of, he's artistic. He's, again, very svelte and small. And the watch, when he wears Cartier, I think he wears a Benoit, actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes. So I would go Cartier. And I feel that this would be, again, Fiona, darling, I don't want to be in this situation. Ellie's making me do this. If I was on a date,
blame it on me.
entirely you. This is hypothetical. I would roll the dice on a Cartier and see if I could, and I feel that would be a good choice in the modern day. Kristian, how would you choose that for a date?
I think I wore the wrong watch today.
I wouldn't date
for
any of you.
Thursday.
I'm just putting in
Yeah,
this, like
no.
throwing this out loud.
No, I'll tell you
Is
what.
that based on the watches though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's not a matter of the date. It's where we would go. If we would go.
Don't do that.
No.
That's a bold move. I like it. I like
It's
it.
the first date, okay? If we went to the beach.
Yeah.
On a Defender with a denim shirt.
There you go.
Does he have you hooked
See?
now?
There you go.
Yeah, he could.
If we did
Okay.
that, and this man and I, we actually did that last summer. We took the dogs and we went to this little,
Back to
very
Elizabeth.
quiet place.
Yeah.
I would wear something
You're
like this.
shattering Ellie's
But-
fancy here.
No, I'll tell you, because if we went to a fancy restaurant and I would wear this, then we wouldn't be alone.
That's true. You'd
Because
have
that-
mopeds
no,
chasing you
no.
as you drove away.
That douchebag at the table next to me
Yeah.
with the somewhat not so pretty wife,
Yeah.
he would come to me like, "Oh, is that a Patek Philippe?"
Yeah.
And my date would be like, "What a strange dude that is, and that guy wearing it."
Yeah.
I'm late. And he's not gonna
I just
get
gotta
me
call.
late. He's not gonna get me
My
late.
dog just needs
So,
a haircut all of a sudden. I've got to go.
It's definitely, it's not so much what you wear, but how the people around you.
React.
Yeah. So this
See,
is
that watch is going to do that. This watch is not. So, but apparently we're both
no.
listening.
Okay, now I'm just like projecting this because I see it like my latest like celebrity obsession with Martin Henderson and like Virgin River, cheesiest TV show ever. But to the point that I called Loic Jack for a few months.
Loic is the fiance.
Loic being my fiance.
I know. You told us 3 times now.
Yeah, I'm just making sure like you know his name by now.
Jack.
Jack.
Still keep calling him Lois. Yeah.
That being said, Jack is in his cabin in the woods, kind of dressed like you, not driving in Defender, but could be driving in Defender. He'd be better wearing this than that, even though it's the new masculinity code. But again, it's a personal thing where I'm more of a not chubby guy versus six-pack, but it's just also a matter of where you put the standard of what you like in masculinity and what attracts you in a guy.
Eleanor just called me a chubby guy.
It did.
But I got rejected and I've got a 6-pack. I've got like a little bit of sweet and a little bit of
You see
sour.
that? That's like
Yeah.
it's interesting, the dynamic.
Nice.
And
Fucking
so
love
I
it.
think right now, and it's like a good transition into, well, obviously I didn't say what I was wearing.
Show us.
But I've decided to become a girl for a day.
How could I not? How could I not have
There's a
shot
lot
with
of
this girl?
Cartier on the table.
Yeah.
But if let's put
Nothing.
it this way. You have to see it in a way that
This is a Benoit, by the way. If
it's
you're
a
listening.
Benoit. It's a Benoit cuff, the small model. It came out just like two years ago. I go against the rule where I do wear bracelet next to it as like a stacking, styling little move. But if I'm throwing this back into the situation that I threw you in, meaning I'm going on a date, the problem is like I'm a girl. And I'm in the watch industry. And right now, watches is like the hot topic. So imagine you're at a dinner, you're a girl, and you talk watches. All the guys are like this.
Wow.
But not because of you, but because like it's
They
like the
get to-
holy grace. It's like, oh my God,
This is
she's
the-
gonna be able to just
The
like
best of all worlds.
feed us with like stuff. But if I were to go on a date with this, it would be on purpose because I don't want to be like the girl pulling off this like watch with like a complicated movement or a name nobody heard of, just like to show up that I know and you don't.
Mhm.
So I'd just be like the girl wearing quartz movement, and we're just not going to be talking about watches. Because I think on a first date, and it applies to a general thing, I think it's a very dangerous road to start talking about what you guys are doing in your life as like a profession, because obviously you get all heated up by something that you master, and you may have someone in front of you who knows nothing about it and feels stupid, or he or she is going to pretend he or she knows the topic when they don't, and then it's a deal breaker like instantly. That being said, I'd be very curious, because you guys have your phones, and now everybody only swears by ChatGPT, who's like the holy grail of like the right responses, and basically shift to, instead of you using your brain, you has your phone to use his brain. What would ChatGPT think about what would be the ideal watch for a guy to go on a date and impress the future girl he or she wants to date?
I do appreciate the insecurity of being a human being. So we go to AI, to ask questions like that, because
I'd be
we
curious.
are so insecure that we cannot come up with the questions
You
ourselves.
can, because you're
And
Kristian Haagen.
Answers, mind you. So
I don't think it's so much about insecurity. It's more just the collective consciousness. I think this gets us out of our subjectivity to ask ChatGPT,
True.
because it's going to
True.
scan the world. It's going to be everything ever written on the internet about the subject.
yeah,
So the prompt that we've come up
that's
with
how it works.
is,
That's how it works.
what would men want to know about a woman's view on luxury watches? We're trying to get to I suppose, if you're watching this thinking, I really want to understand women's perception of watches better, what better time and place? But these are the if men want to understand a woman's view on luxury watches, here are some key insights they may find useful. And just consider Kristian and I a tennis ball machine. We're just firing perfectly pitched tennis balls into
I'm
your
ready.
hitting zone. Are you ready to hit? Shall we
Gonna
start?
try.
Number one.
Oh, I have the first one. All right. So this is aesthetics over mechanics.
Oh boy, straight to the heart of it.
Straight to the
Okay.
heart of it. See, I'm not really fond of this ChatGPT. I think it's kind of weird. But anyway, and it doesn't work. See,
Okay, Grandpa, if you
God,
cannot read,
my
you just, like,
iPhone
open it.
6 is not very good, and my eyesight is poor. Many women prioritize how a watch looks and how it complements their style over technical specs like movement or complications. Clean design, proportion, and comfort matter more whether it's a Koshk certified or has a helium escape valve.
That's pretty funny. ChatGPT is bringing some game here.
It is. I mean, I wish I said
I
this,
know.
right?
It is better than you.
How does that come out?
What do you think? Is that a fair comment? Women
Do you want me
prefer
to repeat it?
looks over movement.
100%.
Okay.
Okay, not 100%, because I think recently more women have got their skin in the game of watches, because for a while there was a saying that, oh, they love to steal their boyfriend's watches and wearing those big watches, and I think we went from 100%
Sorry.
of men were interested in watches to 95%. Maybe it's safe to say that we're at like 80-20. And those 20% are more concerned about, is it a quartz movement or a mechanical movement? I think is the first like baseline. But generally speaking, yes, I do believe that women look at the look of the watch before what's inside the watch. Even I do too. And I'm into watches. And I've been trying, because you've warned me on those like tennis ball hitting me. Like, I do not represent the majority of what women think, because I'm so into watches that I have obviously a slight different point of view, where if I see a guy coming in with like this watch that everybody has, and I was like, okay, that's a douche move, but that's just me thinking. And I think 80% of women will think, oh my God, this is so hot. But we'll get into this later.
Yeah.
Next question.
Okay, second ball. Size and fit for women are crucial. Oversized watches are trendy, but not universally loved. Women often look for a watch that fits their wrist comfortably without overwhelming it, though tastes vary widely. Some prefer 28 to 34, and others rock a 40 millimeter Submariner. ChatGPT's actually putting it in like phrasing.
Yeah.
I actually don't think that's really true.
Okay, that's a no.
I again, that's a personal standpoint, but it's an objective one in a sense that we are really good at wearing comfortable stuff, starting with shoes, starting with jackets, starting with tight jeans where, I'm going to buy this jean because I know I'm going to lose 2 kilos. That is not true. But yet we pull it off because we like the style, we like the fit, we like the color. It's the last remaining size. And yes, it's 2 sizes down, but that will be fine. I can pull it off. I think for accessories, it's the same thing. We like to wear oversized earrings, even though they're like so heavy that by the end of the day, like our ears are coming down. And I think for a cuff, like a bracelet, it works the same way. And for a watch, it's the same thing. So it's better if it's lighter and adjusted and comfortable. But quite frankly, if we like it, like this oversized watch that you wear it a bit loose, not great because you can bang it more easily. You can scratch it with a piece of jewelry. You're not actually paying attention so much, but it's a look and feel and not just an adjusted way of, it's comfortable, it's going to fit perfectly, I can slide it over or under my wrist. So I think it's a no.
Okay.
Can I just mention something here?
Mm-hmm.
Thinking like a woman.
Oh, but you're inner woman.
My inner woman is coming out hard.
Coming out hot or coming out hard?
Hard.
Okay, and hot.
Considering if I was a woman and I had a date with this body of steel.
Yes.
Right? The stud man.
Come on, man.
Flex it.
You tuck it in.
And because
you're posting too much
let's
on
just
Instagram,
say that your first date believes in love at first sight. And she is into you like mad.
Yeah.
She is the hell out of you even before the orders come in.
And the she is you?
And no. Well, it's my inner girl. She's crazy about you, man. It's on. So if I'm into this guy so heavily, and you know, I'm considering, I'm going to take him home.
Yeah.
And I'm going to look
and
at
not
your
the other way around.
And I'm going to look at your watch.
That's true.
And I'm going to be like, not only I want to
He's a feminist too. Yeah.
I could also wear his watch. That's a perfectly sized watch for both genders. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want the man. I want his watch. That's a great watch for the first date. That's what ran through my head.
You know what? That's point 4.
You're kidding me.
No, unisex appeal is something that women apparently wear in watches. So you've just actually jumped ahead.
Sorry, I'm not ChatGPT.
But you know what's funny about what you just said is that I thought that would happen when I came home with this watch with Fee.
Yeah.
I thought that she would just be like, finally, a watch that is on a bracelet that has lots of holes so that it can fit both wrists. Yeah. She has big wrists like you, actually. She has a bigger wrist than most women, not like some tiny, dainty
17
wrist.
is not a big wrist, but on the higher scale of what usually women wear.
Look, it's not. She's not freakishly large, unlike Kristian. But no, it's... I brought this home and she's like, nice watch. A little small for me, but you enjoy that.
Oh my God. That's harsh.
That's what Lisbeth said. She said, did you buy a watch from Eagle? Like, come on, girlfriend, that's my watch. It's a man's watch. You're like, no, it's a lady's. It's little.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. She wasn't into it, so I didn't get that moment that the feminized Kristian Haagen wanted to. But you know what? Let's discuss that after hours. That little scenario that you were really getting into there.
No, we're not even in the same hotel, brother.
This is a good thing. Number 3. This.
You were taking mine. You know that.
I want to take it. I just want to steal it from you.
No, because we already know what. No,
I'm out.
Come on.
No,
let him talk.
Because you got unisex appeal. You jumped forward to point 4, which is actually,
I took 4.
It's a perfect excuse, and we'll talk more about.
Are we done with the unisex thing?
No.
Okay.
Actually, let's make it unisex. We do it now.
Okay. All right. So, is there something about that, the non-gender specific watch? Because when I started collecting Panerais, I was influenced by a page on a female Italian fashion designer wearing a black 44 millimeter Panerai. She was an older girl. She was probably 60 something, but super talented. And I looked, it was a wallpaper article. I looked at it. I was like, this looks stunning on her. My ex-girlfriend, she had a 47 millimeter, a 1950 Destro that she wore for years. It looked great on her. Did that feminize my little tiny 40mm Submariner? Is it okay, or should we have a 38mm watch that we can share? How would you perceive your relationship with your Luc man to be, your husband to be?
But
Is
again,
there a unisex thing going on here?
yeah, he's borrowing
That's appealing.
a lot of my watches.
Which ones? What was the first of your watches that he wore?
The Furl and Mary Heartsbeat, the second limited edition.
But that's not only a cool watch, but it's a fun watch as well.
It is.
That's
What
so
what
cool.
did he wear when you went on the first date with him?
It was at his sister's wedding, and he was wearing an IWC,
Okay.
which I thought was very classical. And I'm like,
Oh yeah.
Was it
but you know
Portofino?
what? To be fair, yeah, it was.
Huh?
And to
Good
be
choice.
fair, the first
Classy.
few months that I met him, I was like, there's a red flag on this guy. He's too perfect. There's something. Like the watch, the look, the body, like everything. There's a red
Yeah,
flag
yeah. I
somewhere.
completely agree. I had dinner with him. I'm just like, I'm surely going to find some flaws by the end of the dinner. I'm
No, I
like, fuck you,
couldn't.
dude. I liked him more after the date. And I did.
You
yeah.
went on a date with him?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went on a date together. And by
Well,
the
I
end
can
of the
talk
day,
about my impressions
by the end,
of him
he texted me, is like, if you don't marry him, I will. And I'm like, that is weird.
I've got B-roll for you to put up of us. We had we're meant to
I
take
promise.
a photo together, and it looks a
Well,
little
the
too.
red
close.
I got
And
a
then the
strange
red
heat
flag-
going on at this
Yeah.
table right now.
No, but the
but-
red
It's some
flag was the
weird role
watch.
playing.
The red flag was the watch.
It's
It's
too,
like,
too,
okay,
too perfect.
he's too proper. He's too
Yeah.
classical.
Need to shake him up.
I need to change things, and this is gonna start with the watch.
The project began.
And funny enough, at the end of the summer, so we had been dating maybe for 3.5 months. His watch got all how do you say it in
Water in
English?
it. Condensation.
Yeah, fog.
Condensation.
Yeah, there was a lot
Yeah.
of fog, and I was like,
Oh, whoa.
honey, you can't wear the watch anymore. It's full of fog. Yeah, that's fine. I can still read the time. Yeah, no, you dating me, you're not wearing a watch that not only is super classic, and second, that has fog in it. Like, it's not happening.
Yeah.
So he dropped it off at AWC, and I don't think he ever picked it up since.
Well, IWC
You
probably
called them
wanted
and said,
to charge
"Hey."
him 4,000 euros for that. So
Lose that watch. I'm paying you to lose that watch.
But no, so the Furlan Mary was the first one he borrowed. The second was actually my Must Tank, but the new edition with the blue like a dial.
Nice.
nice.
He's been wanting to borrow my Octo Finissimo, but his wrists are too big.
Okay.
And that's an integrated bracelet, which we
Yeah,
cannot
you can't
change. He wore for a very long time my Awake.
Oh yeah.
Which
Timbo.
one?
loved
Which one?
Timbo.
The first one, the one they made in collaboration with the NASA.
Yeah. I've got one as
With the
well.
white dial. Yeah, and he loved that watch.
That's a cool
and he
watch.
wore it for months and months and months.
Hmm.
Strap is not very good though on that one.
You can change it. You got a white and a
Yeah,
red.
true.
And,
Yeah.
And right now he's been wearing, because we had this amazing dinner with John Cruz, who it's a guy who lives in New York, and he doesn't wear into watches, but he's passionate about watches. And he kind of re-put the light into a brand called Chronofix. I don't know if you heard of it or if you've seen it, but the watch is actually really cool.
Yeah.
And it only costs $300. It's a limited edition, and it's like a great design, really cool watch. And he was offered this watch, and to this day, he still wears it every single day.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Okay. So unisex appeal, to round it up, like getting into your perspective, not Kristian as the pretend girl, but like you as the real. Do you assess, like, do you sort of think it would be extra points if the watch he's wearing is one I could wear too? Does that track?
Yes, but again, on a standpoint where most of the time the situation has been reversed.
Yes.
But with my ex-boyfriend, he had pretty cool watches, and I was talking a few episodes ago about the Milgauss that I was wearing for a couple of months. It was my ex-boyfriend's, and it's true that it's a watch I would have never probably tried on for a couple of months, and I'm glad I did, because all the watches he had would be watches I would never buy, and the other way around.
Which
So it
is
was-
why he didn't get the biscuits.
No, because some of them I could never afford them. Some of them were just like not edited anymore, and he was 22 years older than me, so obviously he had been in the industry for way longer than I have, and it's just those kind of things where I've been in the other situation. But back to like the general statement where you're a girl and you're thinking, oh, could I wear the watch? I can honestly say, but that may be a bit sarcastic of me, that because now the watch is like the hot thing of the moment, and Rolex, Patek, AP, RM are like the hot brands of the moment. I'm pretty sure that a lot of girls who spot this on the men's watches like, oh, if I can wear that one day, I'd be pretty happy. Focusing on the watch and not the guy, which is the wrong way of thinking. Is that
partly why you didn't want to wear that on the day? Because that is such a I'm a rich dude signal.
I agree with you.
Well, to me, no. Because this is like, that was my dream watch.
Yeah, but that's also a vintage one. And most of the girls will think it's a new one, which is like, because they know nothing about watches.
Weird, funky 70s look.
Yeah, but...
it delivers on the signal.
But they would never think that it's a vintage one. That's how little they would know about watches. And that's also like a down thing. And when you look at like a lot of girls don't know how to make a difference between a new Rolex and a vintage Rolex. But for them, it's still a Rolex.
But them thinking that's worth a lot of money is correct.
True.
Yeah.
And that's when I ask her, should we share the bill? Wearing super expensive Patek Philippe.
Which is why it's, I think, which is why it's safe to say that I've had so many stories of my girlfriends like, oh, on a date and he picked me up with this car and he was wearing like those Loro Piana slippers and I'm like, and what? You're going to tell me about the size of the apartment and the sunglasses he was wearing and the watch is like, yeah, he kind of ticks all the boxes. And I'm like, it's interesting how the boxes are different from one girl to another.
So, talking about that with your girlfriends, which watch impressed one of your girlfriends the most and why?
A Rolex, a Patek, or an AP.
Okay.
Because it's the hot thing of the moment.
Okay. Well, that's the brand. That's not the design.
Yeah, but the design that you mix
we were
everything
just talking
up
about
because,
the aesthetics.
Okay, I'll give you a precise example. If she came back and say he was wearing an AP, no, he wasn't wearing an AP. He was wearing a Royal Oak.
Okay.
Because if that guy was wearing a Star Wheeler, he was wearing a Jules Audemars, or he was wearing a Millenary, she would have no clue that it was an AP.
Okay.
And that to me is the whole thing of like the power of those brands where, oh, he was wearing an AP, he was wearing a Rolex. Like, no, he was wearing like the model that everybody wants. It's like when you get this calls like, oh, you know, I'm an avid watch collector. I've had this on like, not a date, but like on, I have another story on a date, but where I've got this guy at the table and he learns that I'm in watchmaking and he comes just like, you know, I'm a big watch collector. It's like, oh, really? Yeah, I know so much about watches. Like, oh, like what? You know, I've got 12 Rolexes. I've got like 15 Pateks. And I'm like, good for you, dude. But I don't think that makes you a watch collector or a big like fan of watches. Why'd you say that? Like, because you have a lot of money, so you can buy those watches and you can do whatever. But I don't think you're a big avid watch fan or watch collector. It's like, yeah, but I have more than 30 watches. Sure. But I find more attractive a guy who owns 300 watches, which are Swatch and Breitlings and whatever. And probably the 300 watches are worth the price of one of your watch because he's dedicated, he's passionate, he knows about watches. If I tell you about Ressence, or if I tell you about Armin Strom, or if I tell you about Louis Hera, no clue what these brands are. Like,
okay,
you're just making my point.
Let me ask you something else. And this is not necessarily on a date. Have you been at a shindig or whatever, dinner, out with drinks or something like that, and a person within your group is wearing a fake? Have you tried that?
Yep.
Did you tell him?
I would not.
Did you ask him, were they out of the original version or what happened?
So first, that happened to me several times. I don't have that kind of knowledge and power to 100% confirm that this is a fake one, unless it's like that obvious. But a lot of times, and rapidly in the conversation where you make the presentation and people learn that you're into watches, the guy will naturally come to you like, can you spot that this one is a fake? And I usually don't like to get into this conversation because I simply don't like it. Like, what's the point of bragging a fake watch? It's because what? You cannot afford the real one, so you want the fake one? Get one that you can afford. It's better than getting a fake one.
Yeah.
But again, you'll never see someone wearing a fake Louis Vuitton or a fake Fräulein Mary. You'll always see the fake Rolex, the fake APs, the fakes RM.
Yeah.
So that's usually the kind of thing that it's a turn down, but that never happened to me on a date.
I have a good friend. He is an editor of a fashion magazine.
Mm-hmm.
He's a smart guy. He dresses really good. He's a clever guy. He's into food and bicycling. He's a great guy. He wears a swatch, and he's always been wearing a swatch. He's introduced to a plethora of wristwatches in his traveling, in his communication, being a fashion guy. I have the utmost respect for this guy. It's probably the most boring swatch you can get, and he could afford a lot more. But it shows that he's probably into watches, but he doesn't want to show that he's into watches. So I'm wearing this. It's a super conservative look that I appreciate a lot. Would you agree?
100%.
Yeah. So instead of the fake,
I'd rather have
get
this
yourself
than
a swatch.
having a fake one or just borrow it or just pretend to be someone you're not.
Yeah.
Simply.
But the thing about the watches, which you haven't mentioned, when a man wears an expensive watch, it could be the watch he bought for himself to celebrate a big thing, a big life happening. Have you met any man who said, "Oh, my first kid, my first article in an international newspaper, when we build a house, my second kid," something like that? Have you had a man proudly presenting his watch as a celebration of life?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Many times.
Which models are typically that?
It's actually pretty various. I've seen it on a Reverso, Jaeger-LeCoultre.
Yeah.
I've seen it on...
With an engraving?
Yeah, exactly.
with an
so
engraving. I've seen it on a jumbo AP, like Royal Oak. I've seen it on quite classical conservative brands, actually. And usually at a price range that is never like outrageous. Still some money, but it's never in like the 100,000 or 50,000. It's still like celebratory watch that has a meaning, like a Speedmaster, like all these like. And this is more on a celebration standpoint and not a judgment where, oh, I wanted to have this watch because it's cool to have it now. It's more like it meant something at a specific moment where I wanted it. I could afford it. I could have access to it. This, and that.
Okay.
And I think it's much more interesting because, again, I'm not blaming all the guys who are wearing a Royal Oak AP Jumbo, whether it's Jumbo or not. It's not this. It's just the mentality behind it. It's like you want it because it's cool to have it right now, or you want it because you know the story. A lot of the guys who have a Royal Oak AP have no idea who Gerald Janta is. I'm not kidding when I say that.
Well, you're a watch girl. I have two more questions, and it's not that I'm breaking up with AI, but all of a sudden, this is like visiting.
This
Rolex
tennis
the first
machine's
time.
just about to rust over here. It's about to fall apart. I got three
It's
balls
such
left.
a privilege to be here with a woman, and all the questions
using
I
all your questions.
never thought I would ask are just coming out now. See, another thing, because you watching men, have you ever, looked through the bar? You're just like, wow, there's a good looking man over there. There's a good suit. But I bet he wears a, and then he didn't.
Yeah, the problem is that I do it the other way around. Is I look at what he has in the wrist, and then I look at what he dresses like and what his face looks like.
Not the other way around.
Unfortunately, not.
You are the daughter of a retailer.
Yeah.
Again,
Right.
I've told you this already, but
Interesting.
growing up, usually most parents tell their kids after like a birthday party, "So, did you meet the parents? How are they? What do they do?" Me, the first question is like, "What was the father wearing on the wrist?" First question, which is now to this day, 30 years later, when we get to a restaurant, when we get to a place, like, okay, what's the guy wearing on like the second like table over there? It's like, I think it's this, no, it's that. And then mom looks at us like, really?
We're doing this
Again? So I usually, and that's, and quite frankly, it's a real problem because I'm not a judgmental person at all. I don't think I am, but it is true that I do look at the watch before anything else. And if the guy's wearing white socks, it's the second thing.
Or George.
Or George.
George.
Well, so what?
And White
let's-
Sox,
let's-
they're a bad thing.
White socks are a terrible thing. Must be barefoot. It's like when you wear those like boxers versus like underwear.
I played tennis in white socks.
What's that?
I played tennis in white socks.
Yeah, you play tennis. You wear them in like shoes, like proper shoes.
True. Yeah.
I've learned something today. I'm just going to hide my white socks.
Would you date a man who wore an Apple Watch, a smartwatch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easily, no problem.
Okay. What does a man who wears?
I'm just going to leave. I'll just see myself out, guys. I'll call you in the morning.
Well, I'm the older guy.
watching.
I have more questions.
Well,
Sorry, the
I think
tennis
we're on to
balls are really
11 in a
flat
row.
now. But
It's interesting because us, when we get ready for a day, we just like make sure that the cleavage is a bit there but not there, that the heels are like a bit high but not too high. It's not like we ask so many more questions than these kind of questions. It's really interesting.
no, but the thing is, my dilemma with a smartwatch is if I went on a date with a woman who wore a smartwatch, in my head, she would, I mean, like, I don't really want to be here because I need to read my emails and
That's
I
the
need
thing
my
I wouldn't
blood
like.
pressure and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So if she wanted to go on a date with me, she would take it off. I want to be offline. I think wearing a smartwatch like that, you're online.
It's like when you put your phone on the table at a date or a dinner. It's something like you could take the phone and just like smash it.
Yeah, true. Yeah, we do that all the time. Sorry. Back to ChatGPT. Sorry, Andrew.
No
the
problem.
tennis balls are getting.
Next question.
No, just
you know,
plug it back in
sucking
over here.
over.
Okay, the ball could go anywhere. I don't know where it's pointed now after that. No, this is one that, because Kristian sort of saw the future of AI and saw that we were going towards unisex watches about 45 minutes ago. So point three.
Windows time.
I'm really glad you did that, though, because then that means I get point three, which I wasn't going to get, which is something we've talked about a lot in this series, which is the idea that for women, again, broadly speaking, AI algorithm scans the internet. Luxury is more about personal expression than it is expression of status. And this seems to be, according to ChatGPT, a differentiation between men and women. Men wear watches to show their status, and women wear watches to express themselves. Is that a broad stroke that you would broadly agree with?
That's a
I
good
agree.
question.
Because
I
you
do
have
agree.
said that over and over
Yep.
and over again.
I agree because, okay, so me, Eleonor Picciotto, being in the watch industry, obviously when I see a guy who's pulling off like all those watches that we've like named many times, just because there's the hot watches of the moment, and all the guys who uses those terms, those models, those brands kind of to show off, it really is this. And again, when you're at a dinner table and you're lucky enough to have people around the table who are wearing expensive watches, but you've got 3 times the same watch on the right, twice the same watch on the left. I'm sorry, guys, but if I were to spend 50, 60 plus K on a watch, I'd be pissed that my neighbor is wearing the exact same watch.
This is you with Laurent Ferrier when all three
Yes.
models, you were so
I
disappointed.
felt like I came in the Volkswagen.
Yeah, but again, it's different. They're all in the watch industry. But my point is that
yeah, it's not.
when you want to do this, it's kind of a baller move. Like,
Mhm.
I've got enough money so that I can spend that much on a watch. What makes you different from your neighbor on the right and neighbor on the left? That
True.
is what? It's
True.
the car, it's the size of the house, is which hotel you stay at when you go on that vacation. It's like always like raising up the game. Versus if I have a guy who's wearing a watch who's worth 3-4 times what all these guys are wearing, but doesn't trade off because nobody knows what he has on the wrist. And I've spotted that on obviously a lot of independents, or even some specific like models like a Star Wheeler, for example. And because I'm really fond of that model,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's an interesting choice.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember being in a club one day, and that's the other way around. And obviously, I mean, it was in Saint-Tropez, where you've got a lot of these watches, where you've got a lot of guys showing off from like different countries in the world. And I was wearing an AP Millenary,
Mm-hmm.
which is the watch that, strangely enough, nobody knows what it looks like, because each time I would wear it, people thought, "Are you wearing a Breguet?" It's like,
Mm.
no, because it has a skeleton die, so you think it's super complicated. It isn't. It simply is hours and minutes.
Mm.
And I have a guy, it's 4:30 in the morning. He's not even drunk. And he comes to me, he's like, "That's a bold move." I was like, "What?" It's like, "You're wearing an AP Millenary?" I'm
Mhm.
like, "On a girl? That's hot." And he's like, "My wife's here. I'm not flirting with you. I know with your boyfriend, but quite frankly, Congrats. And I'm like,
Good call.
that's interesting. And the guy was wearing a 62, 63. So, and he's big into like vintage. And then we became friends because we have mutual friends, and he knows really well like watches, and he's really into vintage and knows, like, he knows his thing. And I was like, that's an interesting thing. And yeah, that's a catchy move because it's not a bold statement. Oh, I love your watch. It's a Nautilus. It's basically the watch that you see everywhere. So it's an interesting take that depending on what you want and how you want to be perceived, some girls will find it hot, and it's the majority of them. I'm just the other part, but that's okay. I mean,
Kristian, by this
you
logic,
look at me in a way
No. I honestly, I forget there's cameras here because I find this utterly interesting.
Yeah, we this is the conversation that we wanted to have. These are the things we wanted, because we catch these moments on trips where we sit down and have a talk, but we never get to the good stuff. Not this good. But let me ask you that question then, because I'm curious to hear. Like, I read this and think, I'm being completely objectified here. I don't just. This watch isn't meant to project my status. It's meant to be a form of self-expression. So, but I do remember the moment that I got my first Rolex, and I was like, this is definitely I did 100% buy it as a symbol of some sort of achievement. And I can remember the symbolism being powerful of these success watches. But it's like chewing gum that quickly loses its taste. I chewed it for a year or two, and I was just like, oh man, I've seen way too many Submariners now. And I had a Submariner. Like, no one could believe this. I took a lot of trash on the Submariner because I find that it's a watch that says nothing but I have $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. That's all it says. And for most men, that's all they're trying to communicate. I have $10,000 on my wrist, $8,000 on my wrist. And back when I wore it, I quickly realized I lost the flavor of that really quickly, because I realized the watch has to be something. And it's interesting when you gave that example of, have you ever had a man with a milestone watch talk to you? That the reason you probably find that more attractive is it's not about what it tells the world. It's a personal thing that it tells the wearer. That's a totally different relationship to have with the watch. Number 5, brand perception still matters. This is an interesting one because I think you're going to wildly disagree with this. Rolex, Cartier, and Chanel often carry a deeper emotional or cultural resonance for women. Whether it's legacy, luxury, or fashion credibility, women might align more with brands that feel elegant and iconic. I think they're different. It's got that wrong. That feel iconic and recognizable.
I actually agree and disagree, because if I was not, or if I weren't, I don't know, I never know how to say that in English, in the watch industry, quite frankly, Chanel, Cartier are great brands.
Yeah, they are.
They're great brands.
Agree.
And they just released what I call the Chanel version of the Cartier bangle, the Galon, the Galon bangle that just came out. I love Chanel watches. I love their watch side, like the men's side, with like the movement and the manufacture and what has evolved. And I think we're not giving enough attention to Chanel. And they're a bit struggling for that because they've got such a powerful name behind. And it's a bit like Hermes, like now they require like manufacture Vaucher and they make their own movement. Like now they're stepping up the game. And I think Chanel is pretty close to getting there. But my point is, just on the feminine, more of a jewelry like watch, Cartier is the best. Chanel's the best. And I do love their watches.
And Datejust are the most popular Rolexes, but for the fact that women probably own more Datejust than men own Submariners.
Exactly. And it's just another piece. It's just a piece of jewelry that gives the time. The Première of Chanel's an amazing watch. I love the boyfriend.
The boyfriend is just brilliant.
I love the boyfriend.
Yeah. The Monsieur they made back in the days
Monsieur
is
is
Monsieur
another
jumping
thing.
out. There's definitely. I think that is a flexi. Like I feel like a guy that came in wearing that Chanel. I mean, you've got your J12 story.
I've got my J12 story.
Your white J12 story. Do you want to tell that? That's a good one. Someone
can tell
thought they had you. Someone came in and was just like, I got Ellie down.
So back in the days when I was living in New York, I was 21. I was single. A friend of my mom calls me and was like, oh, there's this New York magazine where you've got the most eligible bachelor of the city. I got you blinded with like the most eligible bachelor. It's like, okay, I've never been on a blind date, so it's going to be interesting. we text, we meet in the West Village, and the wine place. I don't drink alcohol, so I got sparkling water. We sit down,
class.
but the guy didn't know, and I couldn't say. And also, 15 years ago, it's horrible to say that. 15 years ago, not drinking alcohol was not a cool thing. It's like, did you stop? It's like, no, it just never started. Anyways, we sit down, and the guy's like, so I heard you were into watches. Like, okay, dude, it's been 36 seconds that we sat down. Do you really sure you want to get into this? And again, if you think I'm fiery now, imagine when I was 21 and I couldn't care about anything and anyone. And I'm looking at the guy, and I'm like, and I can see that he's wearing a Chanel J12 white on his wrist. And I'm like,
That's a little bit interesting, right? Isn't it? Isn't that a little bit?
Back then?
Yeah.
Probably
back then,
wasn't.
again,
Probably
Chanel
wasn't.
15 years ago, not today.
That's
and there's
true.
nothing wrong at
That's true.
J12.
It was
I
just
just
the
never
summer
like,
watch
I've
of
never
Ibiza.
personally liked the watch, but that's okay. And I'm like, okay. And it's like, yeah, I'm really big into watches. And I'm like, dude, you really want to go there? Like, I didn't say because of the watch you're wearing, but that's literally what I meant. And it's like, yeah, I'm really big into watches. It's like, again, we've met 2 minutes ago. We sat down 36 seconds ago, maybe now 42. Maybe let's not like get straight into the subject. It's like, no, I really want to.
You're thinking, this is
Okay.
dangerous, my friend.
Okay,
Back
take it or
away.
leaving. So he's like, my J12, and then he goes on Chanel and J12's like, yeah, but that's kind of an odd choice for somebody who's really into watches. It's like, but you know what, to me, the most beautiful, elegant, magnificent watch ever is. And I'm like, again, I might be leaving the room right after your sentence. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure what I'm about to say. And he's like, the Frank Mueller tunnel case with the multicolored numerals onto the dial.
Crazy hours.
And the crazy hours.
That one, though.
You would date
I
this guy.
love it.
This
I
would
do
this
that
guy's-
guy. Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
yeah.
look at the guy and I was like, I'm so sorry. And I left.
It's a good story. on
But
this
you're not
episode.
judgmental. Thank God you're not
Yeah,
judgmental.
yeah.
I was 21. Give me a break.
No,
Okay.
listen. I mean, if I were you, I would be like, well, thankfully he's not wearing a Rolex. Your dad would be as well.
Yeah, but you know what? Okay. If he had worn a Rolex and told me that he was interested and he loved the Frank Mueller, fine. He was wearing a Chanel and told me about the Frank Mueller. 2 watches I hated. I'm like,
Did he wear white socks in his shoes? as well?
And we're done here. You are
I
over, my
didn't-
friend.
I
Yeah.
actually didn't
And you
have the
actually
time to
walked
look.
out. You left.
I walked out.
You didn't even get to see if you had white
Because I'm
socks.
like, this is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Did you get any men when you were 21? I think like you came in fully armed
Yeah.
and loaded. Right?
Yeah.
I got 2 bullets and they're both for you, dear.
Usually there's 3 strikes. She's just like had a cut
Bam.
33% of the strikes. Bang. I'm out.
You
Yeah.
would leave them castrated.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
You, Tarantula,
Well-
you.
Guess what? I'm only getting married at 35. Maybe there's a reason.
Your husband to be, who has a name, is a lucky fella.
Loic,
Yeah, he is, but I'm very lucky too.
still going to get it right.
You didn't call him Louis.
I know.
Good.
Well,
That was a big
I'm
huh?
learning. There's
wasn't
one,
a little
there's one
soft
last
little
one left. Should
Shoot
we
it.
do it? It's a really easy one.
Yeah.
One last ball. Watches as jewelry. Women sometimes approach watches the way they do jewelry, meaning they care how it pairs with their outfit, other accessories, or for the occasion. It seems an obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at you now.
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, that goes perfect with your full attire.
But see, I find a resonance with a lot of these points. I'm starting to. I mean, this is Marcus's accessory, not mine. But I feel like there is definitely a blurring of the lines here, isn't there? These
Yeah,
aren't
and-
exclusively gendered things.
It is true. And if we circle back to the original question, which was, what do men think women think of their watches?
Mm.
There's a discrepancy most of the time in what they think versus what she thinks. I'm pretty safe to say that most of the time she doesn't care because she doesn't know anything and it's not part of the equation. They pay more attention to the restaurant they're taking them, that he's taking her, the car he's wearing, the kind of like apartment he has, like all these things, and then the watch comes after.
Hopefully, his personality's somewhere in there.
Hopefully there's a personality somewhere in there. But I still have, I mean, and I do have a couple of girlfriends who do think like me, but it's because maybe they hang out too much next to me and like me teaching them about watches. Like when a guy comes in, was like putting like the wrist on the table, like showing off what he has.
How you doing?
He thinks he's the cool guy, but he's just the douche guy.
Okay.
And
I'm glad we had this conversation, but I'm also
that being
glad.
said,
I'm also glad I'm not single because I would be annihilated out there.
yeah, you wouldn't
Well,
be dating me. But that's
I
fine.
think,
There's plenty of women
Not in this
there.
watch.
It's a
Not
good
in this
thing
watch.
that I'm not wearing a Cartier. Otherwise, people would think we were going home for ménage à trois.
So this, whoopsie, sorry. This one's for you. This one's for you.
Okay, thank you.
No, you can
this
have
is
one.
for you. This is for you, dear. I mean, I
It
can't
fell
answer
down
this.
there near my white socks. Hang on, let me just. Oh,
Wait,
there
right
it is.
here.
I got it. I got it.
Striped socks. I don't think it's great either, but it's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, who's up?
Wait, you did these cards, right?
yeah.
How many spelling mistakes are
There's been
we
two
allowed
so
to
far.
have?
What touch related?
These are
Ding, ding, a ding, a ding.
These are prototypes. Give me a break.
What touch? Or
Okay.
watch?
Actually, it was done by Pietro, our Italian stallion. So we'll have nothing bad
sorry.
said.
He's a good-looking guy. We can't
Yeah.
No
criticize
one
him.
does this. Okay, go.
Okay, so mine, no one understands my relationship with this watch. I wear a really boring Hamilton. I wear a beige Hamilton khaki field mechanical.
It's a good-looking
And
watch, though.
It's good looking, but it's super boring. Like it is beige on beige on beige. And it's almost so bland that you would just say, dude, you like got to bring some heat. You're like a watch guy now. And what they don't understand is the significance of this watch to me, this very plain sort of beige attack off the wrist, is that it symbolizes to me that this was this life-changing moment to decide to distribute Hamilton in Australia. So to me, it's got a marking on it. It's a watch that is personal. And even though the aesthetics of that watch do not scream any of the usual, like it doesn't have anything about it that is, I mean, the colorway is cool. It looks good with beige and white. So like in terms of, you know, the female, I suppose, desire to match stuff up, it's a good watch because it's beige, but it's boring. But it's not about that. It's about the fact that it's a personal little thing to me of like, you distributed Hamilton in Australia for a year, and it was so successful that the Swatch Group Australia said, yeah, we're going to take that back, and we no longer have that brand exclusively in Australia.
Thank you, Mr. Hayek.
Thank you, Mr. Hayek. Thank you, Swatch Group Australia. Something that your dad would probably just be like, yeah, those bastards. That's my story.
It's a good story. With a
My
sad
choice.
ending. The watch that I own that I complain most about to myself is... well, that's actually a recent purchase. It's Cartier, Tank American, reference 1741, which
Brand new
is
white gold, right?
it's white gold. Yeah. The reason why I bought it is because it has Arabic numerals and not the typical Cartier Roman numerals.
Mhm.
One thing I like about it is you don't have that odd space in between the Roman numerals around 6, between 5 and 6, which is a annoying detail. You can't unsee it once you've spotted it on a Cartier. But the problem is, I look at this watch as if it's a Frank Muller, because the exploding Arabic numerals makes it look like a Frank Muller. See, I have nothing against Frank Muller.
You'd be dating that guy.
But still, I would not be coffined with a Frank Muller over a Cartier. So I had this dilemma. I love the 1741. I have another one with Roman numerals, which I wear on a beautiful tan strap. This one, I put a bracelet on from Forstner. It looks like Mark Cho made a platinum bracelet for me.
Bespoke bracelet
I
for
want
you.
it to look better. So I cross-dressed this watch to not look like a Frank Miller. And it's like I'm sleeping with another brand than Cartier, and it makes me feel really bad. So it's that watch.
Okay.
Okay.
You?
What watch truly nails a big dick energy vibe?
That's the right card for the
the
host
right person.
with the most.
For this subject, for this
Yes.
this episode,
I'm hesitating
almost like we set
between.
that up.
Okay, so what watch truly nails a big dick energy vibe? Option 1, a Mirage by Berneron. Option 2, any recipe watch.
Wow.
Not for me, baby. Oh boy. That
It's a good thing we're not dating.
Listen, I'm with Betsep.
That's just
I'm
really-
on like that. I mean, what a cool dude with amazing watches and a gorgeous wife.
And the reason why, just so that it's not misunderstood, the big dick energy is because that guy, when he pulls this off, he doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. Most people will think when you first see a Recep watch,
No.
most people don't understand it. It's like,
True. No.
it's
I
simple.
totally agree on
This
that.
is, and for Berneron, because I really have a hard time choosing, is like, oh, it could be a crash, but it's not. It could be worth like 1K, but it could be worth 100K. It's that thing where you don't know. And that's what I love about it. And that's what I love about those watches. And they're filled with details. The amount of time they've put into designing the watch, like every single part to the part where they actually assembled it to like the final product is just. So now I'd actually be really curious to know what you think. Am I completely wrong? Am I semi-right? Please do share in the comments if you have anything to say against my perception, their comments, or what ChatGPT has to say. And then we'll write something together to maybe go against the artificial intelligence.
Which is a good way to sum us up.
Good?
The cards today, tomorrow the book from Eleanor. How to date a watch.
Pretty little thing living like you count, cause mama, I'm sure hard to hell and I, yes, around.